Mike Wallace up in the motherfucking house. Bang your head to the opening riff.
What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Jade up here, and welcome to episode 44. I almost did like that. Well, that's still, 2 and 2. Boom. So that's still 44 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Believe it or not, this episode actually would have probably dropped a day earlier hadn't your boy, the genius over here, left his trusty eyeglasses at home on Friday. So I actually got to sit at my desk all on Friday looking like Cyclops and shit, because the only other glasses I had were my prescription sunglasses, Ray-Bans, cool as night. Yeah. Dropping eyebrows on people and shit all day. And not to mention, to mention, on Friday, what went on sale on Friday but tickets for the debut of AEW on TV. And where that shit emanated from, that shit's gonna be live from the Capital One Arena. Capital One Arena in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., Wednesday, October 2nd. Your boy got tickets. And them shits sold out within like 2.5, 3 hours. Who knows what the exact time of that shit was, but that was definitely the most nightmarish experience that I've ever had purchasing tickets. But we going, baby. We going. Just to give it to you on a silver platter. Just how epic this shit is. Nothing of this magnitude has happened, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, in the wrestling world since the debut of WCW Monday Nitro, September 1995. But even that was at a mall. That was at Mall of America. But this shit's gonna be at the arena. The arena. MCI Center. The motherfucking Verizon Center. The motherfucking Capital One Arena. No matter what you call it. It is the home arena here in D.C. I cannot wait to see that shit. The management is going to descend upon that shit that night. Yet I digress. So, that's what got to go down on Friday. So instead of going to the movies on Friday, I got to catch up on a couple other movies that I need to catch up on in order to see some movies that are coming out. Namely, Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. To catch up for Angel Has Fallen in a couple weeks. And Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. Both pretty good. So, got me looking forward to Angel Has Fallen as well. I thought I could go into Angel Has Fallen just like, I think I know what's going on. But I had I would have been completely wrong. So, yeah, awesome. So, we caught up on the Has Fallen series. Let's see. AEW. Okay, yeah, so, that ended up pushing most of our ticket, 2/3 of our ticket, to yesterday, which is Saturday. We filming this on Sunday. And I know how to say that we'll see you next weekend, but it seems like I've been playing a little bit more like Monday morning movie quarterback. So, maybe, I don't know. It's all up in the air, what may happen. Will I switch schedules to Monday? Will I stay with the weekends? Who knows? But we gonna keep on grinding right here, baby. Episode 44 here, Real Rush. Oh, and because I had to push 2/3 of this week's Real Rush ticket to yesterday, some reason that got me stuck in a traffic jam in Interstate 66. Late Saturday night, early Sunday morning.
Standing still traffic on 66. It's 1:25 in the morning.
That construction's been going on for like years. I suppose it's getting there or whatnot, but yeah. At least I have my tunes. driving in Tito, come back from the Angelica last night. So, let's go ahead and get on down to this week's episode 44, Real Rush Ticket. And what we got for y'all on this episode, Real Rush Ticket. I got 3 movies for y'all on this episode's Real Rush Ticket. I know last week I only said I had 2 movies for y'all for this episode's Real Rush Ticket. But, special uninvited guest coming in through the back door in true Cinema Arts fashion gave us an extra movie. And we gonna get to that extra movie as we move along this episode's Real Rush Ticket. But let's get on down to the brass tacks here. We're gonna get on down to Thursday night's main event, which I thought I was gonna see at the Airbus. It turned out not to happen. We ended up going out to Regal Gateway out here in Gainesville to see it. Instead, RPX. Oh, and it looked beautiful in RPX too. I'm talking about Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Yes, the latest installment in the Fast and Furious franchise. It's like a side installment. It's kind of like, I'm comparing it somewhat, and don't get pissed just because I'm comparing it this way and saying like, oh, how dare you compare this franchise to this franchise. I'm not comparing the franchises. I'm just saying stylistically what the franchises have done, okay? And you'll know what I mean when I say this. So I'm comparing this. Hobbs and Shaw is like a side story like Rogue One and or Solo is to Star Wars. Okay? Okay. So, if you have been following the Fast and Furious franchise, and you know what? Come to think of it, even if you haven't, this does pretty good as a standalone movie. But, regardless. So, you got Agent Luke Hobbs, played by my boy, Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock. By the way, that's who's like, I don't know exactly what part, but that's like his chest and his abs and shit that you're seeing, because that's the SummerSlam 2001 poster that is behind the Rushtron right here. Maybe one day you will be able to see this in full. Anywho, so you got Hobbs, The Rock, teaming up, Deckard Shaw, fucking Jason Statham. They don't like each other. We knew this. If you haven't seen any of the movies, you can tell this right from the trailer. They don't like each other. But they're going to have to team up with each other to save the world from a super virus that is being hunted itself by a cyber-enhanced, cybernetically, genetically, supernetically, intergalactic, planetarily enhanced supervillain, Black Superman, fucking Idris Elba, man. Like, he's just wrecking shit all over the place. And it's up to Hobbs and Shaw to take down this man before he could get hold of this virus. This movie also stars Vanessa Kirby, Aiza Gonzalez, got Helen Mirren in a bit of a, she's in it. And some cameos. So, that leads me to how is Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. It is over the top as hell. Everybody's been saying that the next logical step for the franchise is for, and I'm talking about like the main movie in the franchise, like Fast and Furious 9, whatever they got in store for that. Everybody and their mama has been saying they gotta go to outer space. They have to go to outer space. And something about this Hobbs and Shaw. Now it's more comedic. It's definitely the most comedic out of all the out of all the Fast and Furious franchise movies. Out of all the Fast and Furious franchise films. Fast and Furious franchise films. Say that shit 5 times fast. Ha! Fast and Furious franchise films 5 times fast. Definitely the most comedic. It's directed by David Leitch, the guy that directed Deadpool 2. The action is awesome. Alright, one thing at a time here. So yes, it is over the top. Just go in knowing this, that it is completely over the top. So much to the point where it's like, okay, you have to suspend belief. But I mean, if you haven't suspended belief at this point in the Fast and Furious franchise anyway, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you at this point, Bubba, because let's put it like this. If you're going into this and you've only seen the first Fast and Furious, the one that came out 18 years ago. Yeah, 18 years ago. Worlds different. Worlds different. Still enjoyable as fuck. Worlds different. Still entertaining. Worlds different. So, Hobbs and Shaw. Like I just said, the action is awesome. The comedic elements are awesome. The cameos, not giving them away, are what make the movie, along with the action and the comedy itself. The chemistry, obviously, between Statham and The Rock, or excuse me, Johnson, is there. If anybody who's seen the last couple Fast and Furious movies that they have been in. The only thing that I had a problem with this movie was some of the editing. It almost looked like, oh, and Idris Elba is awesome as the villain too. And he's also intergalactic, planetarily enhanced and shit. Yeah. So, it's not too unbelievable that it would take only Hobbs and Shaw to try to take this man down, given the fact that Hobbs steered a fucking torpedo off course as it was traveling full speed on ice with his fingertip. Remember that one? Yeah. And that shit was awesome too. So, the editing, as I was saying, it's almost as if they filmed it to be rated R, but a lot of it just got either chunked out, or at some points it almost seemed like it felt like they fell asleep on the very last day of shooting and then woke up and said, oh shit, we still got so much left to shoot. Let's get it together, y'all. Kind of like, remember back in the day when you waited to the last day before the day before your science experiment was due, and then you wanted to go do it the night before, and then you fucked around and fell asleep, then you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning like, oh shit, and you end up just throwing some shit together. Maybe not quite that bad, but I will say this, and this is not giving anything away. The final battle scene, which is epic as fuck, by the way, the Samoan battle scene, in 8 minutes of movie real time, it's supposed to be 8 minutes of actual time in the movie, right? Within that time, it goes from being pitch dark outside to being looking like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I can't, it's completely, like, it's there. Like, you can't unsee it. And you will notice this. I didn't even have to bring it up and you would have noticed this. You would have been like, what the fuck? But the cool thing is that, again, the Fast and Furious, this being a side story even, it's given more, I think, freedom to be just more outlandish than the actual franchise itself. So, if you can look, it's very easily overlooked, elements like that. And the editing part only caught my eye because, hey, I'm a damn editor. I gotta sit here and edit this shit here in a little bit. So, overall, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. It's totally entertaining. You do, if you go see this, want to see this in the highest quality possible. Again, the cameos are what make the movie, but let alone Hobbs and Shaw rocking Statham, they alone, the cameos and them, you know what, yeah. The humor alone is awesome, all around. The action sequences are off the chain. Let alone some editing shit and whatnot. It's not too bad. Yeah, I would put it as still among my favorites if I were to rank it in the actual franchise itself. It'd be in the top, what is this? This would be the 9th one. So this would be in the top, like, 4 or 5, perhaps. So yeah, boom. Hobbs and Shaw. Excuse me, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. I'm not sure if you're supposed to say that whole thing, like, you're supposed to say the whole thing like a pimp named Slickback or some shit like that. But, Hobbs and Shaw. Check it out. Especially if you're a fan of the franchise already. Check it out. If you're a Rock fan, you're gonna love it. If you're a Statham fan, you're gonna love it. If you're an action junkie, you're gonna love it. If you an action comedy junkie, you're gonna love it. Yeah. Check out Hobbs and Shaw, y'all. Boom. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket is this week's unannounced entry in true cinema art style, as only they would do. Popping up on the schedule out of nowhere like an RKO from Randall Keith Orton. Mike Wallace is here! Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me because Mike Wallace is here. And he's a doctor of fucking thugonomics and interviewing and shit all clear. Excuse me. Even I regurgitated a little bit on that one. So, Mike Wallace is here. This was the first of two documentaries that I saw yesterday. Saturday. Domination Day. This one is about the famed newsman Mike Wallace. And this almost takes a look into Mike Wallace's life that is just as abrasive as his interviews were. And it takes a more in-depth look into like his interview with Ayatollah Khomeini and interviewing Oprah. But then it's also told in a narrative where he's being interviewed at certain points in his career as well, and just telling like his story of coming from show business, quote unquote, he wouldn't have liked that fucking term, into newscast, journalism, and creating 60 Minutes up until his passing a couple years ago. Brilliant documentary, yo. Oh yes, oh yes. I'm so glad that this popped up on the radar. So good that I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and just say Mike Wallace is here. It's like I said, it's abrasive and it's just provocative, just as the man's interviews were, and just as he designed 60 Minutes to be, along with Don Hewitt. This takes just a no-holds-barred look into the man's life and brings to light some shit that you may or may not know about him. I'm going to go ahead and say that, and usually when it comes to documentaries, usually the trend has been that they go to like the streaming options. They've gone to like a Netflix option or a Hulu option or some shit like that in the last couple years. But this needs to at least stay on the radar to get nominated. This is my pick. My first official pick for Oscar nomination for Best Documentary Feature up at the upcoming Oscars this year. Hopefully it stays on the radar for that, but take that for what it's worth. Mike Wallace is here. It is playing now at Cinema Arts if you're in the DC metropolitan area. I'm not sure where else in the DC metropolitan area may be playing, but check out IMDb for your other local showtimes if you are not in the DC metropolitan area, or if you are in the DC metropolitan area and Cinema Arts may not be your best option. So Mike Wallace is here. That would be scary if he was here right now, because that would mean that we got a ghost up in the fucking vault, and Dub ain't down with that shit. But I am definitely down with Mike Wallace is here, the documentary. Go check it out ASAP. My pick for Rush Movie of the Week. Will this tie with the movie on our last movie on this episode's Real Rush Ticket? Will it? It might, the more I elaborate on it, because now as we go from Mike Wallace, the buttoned up, suit up, tied up and shit, suited and booted newsman, who carried with such style and grace, we go over to somebody who sings with much style and grace. But man, did this man hit some low points. And I'm talking about last night's Saturday Night Angelica main event.
Man, they got the Mosaic District lit up like Universal Studios, Orlando and shit out here. And that's just one of the many reasons why I love this joint. It's Saturday Night Angelica time. Holla!
One more time, I got to say that. Saturday Night Angelica main event. David Crosby, Remember My Name. And this is an actual interview with David Crosby that was produced, and the interview was conducted by famed filmmaker and noted music junkie himself, Mr. Cameron Crowe. He's interviewing David Crosby about everything, man. Just his ups, his downs, his times with CSN, CSNY, his addictions, his prison time, the tragedies in his life, the ups, just everything, man. Just everything, everything. And it shows, it does the same type of narrative. Like, it's shown through, like, the interview, and then through past, like, archive clips and video montages and music clips and stuff like that. And, man, this is a good-ass fucking documentary, too. It's heavy. It's dark. As, I mean, if you do know anything about David Crosby's life, the man has not always led a sunshiny life, but it is a damn good documentary. Emotion-wise, I wish I had seen this one before the Mike Wallace one, but I'm gonna go ahead and fucking say it. This one, also, we're going to go ahead and put it as a tie. This week we have a tie between the two documentaries of the week. It's that made up 2/3 of the ticket. The other one was the blockbuster movie of the week, and it's got my boy in it. And I didn't even make the pick of the week. No, that is tied between, what was it again? Mike Wallace is here, and David Crosby, Remember My Name. Because David Crosby, Remember My Name is also just a hard-hitting documentary. And it will hit you. Man, man. Tragic, but beautiful. David Crosby, Remember My Name. This just may get some best documentary feature-wise attention as well. Fuck it. I'm going to throw that in the hat for best documentary nomination at the upcoming Oscars, or both of those can be anywhere in any of the upcoming awards shows. But yes, I'm throwing David Crosby, Remember My Name, in there as well. This one is playing at the Angelica. I don't recall if it was playing at Cinema Arts or not, but regardless, and regardless of whether or not it was playing there or not, and regardless of whether or not you're in the DC metropolitan area, wherever you be watching this, check out IMDb or Fandango or whatever for your local showtimes, and definitely go check out David Crosby, Remember My Name. So Mike Wallace is here. That's going to be for your history buffs, your news junkies. And David Crosby, Remember My Name. That's going to be for your music peoples and your history buffs. And both of them for, you know, vintage. But both movies, if you don't know anything about them, about Mike Wallace and David Crosby, go get your education, because it's coming straight from their mouths. Boom. Unflinching, unbiased. Documentaries. Go get some education when you get your education. What? Edutainment. Yes. Go get some education when you get you some entertainment. There you go, baby. So, that wraps up this week's Real Rush Ticket, episode 44. Before we get to what's coming to you next week, episode 45. Don't forget that tickets are still on sale and available for the next Stagecoach Bandits 3rd Friday monthly show. Friday, August 16th at 7:30 p.m. up at the Stagecoach Theater Company, Ashpoint, Virginia. Tickets, as always, are $12 online, $15 at the door. But I don't recommend waiting until you get to the door, as the last show was a sellout, and that was our first third Friday monthly show in 2 months. People have been wanting that. That's our main event. That's our monthly pay-per-view, y'all. So, you want to get your tickets online. Plus, if you go online and purchase your tickets with the promo code John, you get yourself a discount. So, where you go do that, you want to go to stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. That's stagecoachthomascoleman.com/stagecoach-bandits. Booyah. What else we got coming for you? Oh, then next week is what we're going to have for you for next week. We got a big ass episode coming next week. Maybe that's why I'm kind of taking it easy this week. So next week, episode 45, we're going to have reviews for y'all. We got The Kitchen. That shit I'm really looking forward to. Dora and the Lost City of Gold. That'll be interesting. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. That one will be interesting. That's a childhood classic, favorite of mine. I really hope that they do that shit justice. The fact that it's PG-13, I guess I can't be too upset about that. I mean, you're basing your shit off of a kid's book, and we read that well before we were 13, so the fact that it's PG-13, I guess that's a little bit more extreme than would be expected out of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the books themselves. So we'll see how those go. We'll see how that goes. Plus, we'll also have The Art of Racing in the Rain, another dog tearjerker on the horizon. And that one's produced by Starbucks, if I read the movie poster correctly. We'll also have Loose, I believe is how you pronounce the name of that movie. I'm going to find out. We're going to find out. And we also have, last but most certainly not least, Them That Follow. That shit looks jarring as well. So, big week coming. Episode 45 next weekend for y'all. But in the meantime, ladies and gents, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, any shit like that, please go ahead and type those on in into the YouTube page where you are viewing this week's episode right here. For those who have subscribed to my channel thus far, thank you for doing so. If you haven't done so thus far, what are you waiting for? You want to be the first to know when the brother drops a new episode. Turn them notifications on. And please continue to spread the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. And don't forget that The Real Rush does have replay value. So any movie that has come out since late September, 2K18, so like A Star is Born, Smallfoot, Night School, all like that, anything on, I pretty much reviewed it. We're almost at 200 movies now reviewed. And now that things are hitting streaming, if you're one of those people that like to prefer to wait until things hit digital or streaming or cable or whatever your home options are, The Real Rush still has your back, yo. All you got to do is search The Real Rush in quotation marks, just like that, followed by space, and then the name of the movie of what you want to know, what you want to see. And that's a Real Rush movie review for you on demand, right there. So damn, replay value. And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. And that is at JDubChampion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy JDub. Thanks you once again for tuning in to The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, when you're at the movies, chill the hell out. Don't be doing all the yibbering and yabbering and looking at the phone and smartwatches. Put all that stuff away and off, because any discussion, any conversation, and the time, all that shit will be waiting for you after the movie is over. I guarantee it. Enjoy yourselves at the movies, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And